Over the past year and a half to 2 years, we help info products generate multiple seven figures in niches like wholesaling, sales training, real estate investing, day trading, long-term investment, education, TikTok shop, Amazon FBA. I could sit here and list niches all day long. Point is, we know what we're doing. Here are just a couple of screenshots showing that. In this video, I'm going to break down some of the key lessons when scaling an information product so that you can cut the learning curve and not deal with the shit that we've dealt with over the dozens of offers that we've worked on in our past. So very, very simple. Three things. One's a problem. One is a solution. The other is a lesson and a mindset shift that you need to have in order to find success. Number one being your offer owner has to prioritize the info business to a certain extent, especially if it's built off organic. I'll cover exactly what that looks like as we move through the video. Number two, your sales team will solve majority of your business's problems and it will help you prevent your business from contracting aggressively. I'll cover exactly why and how to make sure you have a good sales team. And then number three, success with your organic-led information business does not mean that you're going to find success with a paid-led organic or paid-led information business. So let's just get right into it. Now, number one, your offer owner has to pay attention to info. One of the key things we look for across every information product that we work with today is that their main business, the business that they're teaching on, drives a majority of their revenue. And so what this typically looks like is an agency owner sells an info product on starting an agency, or an ecom guy starts an education product on starting ecom. You want, in most cases, your core business to drive majority of your revenue. And there is a reason for this. It allows, number one, your information business to be run with a lot less emotional instability, especially if you've never run paid ads before. If you go straight into an information product and we require you to spend $15K in a month, if you've never done that, you're going to shit your pants a little bit, excuse my French. So making sure that you can stomach those costs by having an existing business, but also it's important for you to be up to date with what you're teaching. If you're selling some shit and you are not in the trenches, you're not actively seeing what's going on, you're not actively doing some of these things yourself, when you go to teach other people how to do it, you're going to be giving them outdated information. One of the industries that we see this all the time in is wholesaling. A lot of wholesaling coaches that we've seen will teach how to start a wholesaling business, yet they only make 10 to 20K a month, which in that industry is one deal. They don't run real operations. And so it's important that if you go to sell info, if you already run a business and you're going to sell info, or if you're looking to work with an info product creator, that the creator or yourself runs a actual sound business and info becomes a cash play on the side. That is, in my opinion, one of the most important things. Number two, in terms of focus, is if your offer owner runs a business, one of the problems you can run into is the offer owner's focus shifts between their core biz and their info biz. We've seen this multiple times where an offer is contracted from $300K a month down to less than $100K a month, from $250 a month down to less than $50K a month, all because the focus shifts between the two businesses that the offer owner is running. That is why paying attention and making sure that your offer owner is focused, or you're focused on your information business as well as your main one, will allow you to grow a lot more aggressively. The other thing that can happen with information is because you're selling a high ticket product, sometimes it can feel very, very easy, meaning you sell three things, you make 30 grand in a month, and all you did was post a couple of pieces of content. Because when you build a business off organic, it can be a lot easier than with paid ads. You don't treat the business with as much seriousness. And so what this can result in is you, the information product owner, or your offer owner, if you're working with one of them, can end up not posting content, hiring an agency, which rarely works out. You always end up posting shit content, or they just don't put any effort in and expect because you're operating, you're going to drive all the revenue. Although as an operator or a marketer, that is your job, your creator has to be bought in. If they are not willing to be coached for webinars, if they're not willing to film VSLs at a very rapid rate, they're not able to turn ads around in a 48 to 72 hour period. That is a massive fucking problem. You either get your creator, or you, the info product owner, get on a schedule for being able to film, or you're willing to turn things around very aggressively, especially in the beginning because of how fast some of these test cycles are. So that's the number one problem we see, is the offer owner doesn't prioritize the information product. And so that is where you should put your focus initially. The number two thing that is extremely important for you to understand and have with an info business is a really strong sales team. Now, is this necessary all the time? For example, if you build a business off the back of organic? No. But what a really strong sales team does is it allows you to squeeze the business and make more revenue from the leads that you're already generating. The problem with this space, and it plays off of what I just explained with the founder not being able to focus on the information product, is it's the same trend for salespeople, where salespeople will buy some high ticket coaching course, expect to make 20 grand a month by sitting on a beach and getting calls that hit their calendar. Those are shitty salespeople. Those are lazy entrepreneurs. Those are not really driven sales reps. A good sales team consists of SDRs or setters and closers that are willing to do whatever it takes to generate revenue for the business. What does this mean? This means sending personalized assets, sending selfie videos on the setting side, being proactive in the setting process, qualifying leads properly. Like, your setters have to be dialed in. Same thing with your closers on the closing side. They need to be willing to do outbound when they don't have calls on the calendar. If their full day isn't packed with calls, if they don't do any outbound or follow up during that day, they can get fucked. They can get fucked. They can get fucked. Sorry, that's a bit of a short thought. Most closers in this high ticket niche, high ticket space suck ass. And they may be good at being on the phones. The second that they have some dead space, they want to go kick their feet up on a fucking beach and piss off. That's not how this works. You want closers that are willing to do outbound. You want closers that will follow up. You want closers that will send personalized assets, just like setters. You want them to be proactive. And the big thing is you want your sales team framed so that they are willing and excited to sell legitimately anybody that comes through the funnel, as long as they fit the criteria of joining the program. But what I mean by this is, as a marketer, there is only so much I can control. And I can't remember who said this analogy, but if you walk into a car dealership, is the car salesman going to walk up to you and say, hey, did you watch the videos on the TRX that you were looking to buy? Did you watch the videos on the 911 that you were looking to buy? That's like the dumbest take in the world. It's stupid. That is stupid. So why are your high ticket closers expecting that that's supposed to be the case? It's not. You can't bank on people consuming the content. You can't bank on people consuming the emails. You can't bank on them even watching the BSL. You can't even bank on them remembering shit. Your closers and your setters have to be willing to educate prospects. And this brings me to a concept in marketing and sales in regards to their level of interest. Every prospect comes in at a different level of interest. And depending on where that is, whether it's here, 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 or here, the level of education needs to adjust accordingly. So your salespeople need to be able to increase a prospect's level of interest and education and awareness of the product if they come in with zero awareness. If you say, hey man, let's just reschedule for another time, consume these pieces of content, sometimes you have to if it's really that bad. But in most cases, as a closer or a setter, you should be willing to educate them based on where they're at, or your team should. For example, if your prospects come in with an extremely high level of interest, chances are they need a very low level of education. Whereas if they come in with a super low level of interest, it's very straightforward. I'm so sick of salespeople being lazy as hell. This is why we hate, personally, having sales teams with kids that are under the age of 25. If your sales team is built up or made up of 18 to 22 year olds, they better be absolute fucking savages, or you got to get somebody who has experience, isn't looking to get rich quick and take calls on the beach. And you want to bring somebody into your organization that's actually going to do the work and do these things like outbounding, follow up, sending personalized assets, being proactive. Because your salespeople do two things. Number one, they're basically the insurance policy for your business. So for example, if I have a webinar, I go add, we just did a video about this too. If I do add to webinar to call, let's say my booking rate, realistically, you're looking for like 20 to 30%, but let's say my booking rate's sitting at 5%. My salespeople are going to call all the leads that didn't book calls and drive them to book a call. They're the insurance policy. If I'm bringing leads in that don't have a high level of education, it's my salespeople's job to figure that out. And then what do you do as the marketer? What is the marketing department supposed to do on top of that? They take whatever was talked about in the sales calls and turn that into ads, emails, content, so that more prospects come in at this high level of education and by proxy end up having a high level of interest. So that's what I mean when I say salespeople are your insurance policy. And this brings me into the last point. If you're curious to have us audit your sales team, look at your business as a whole, there's going to be a link below. You can fill out the application, book call to speak with myself or the member of the team. We'll run you through exactly what makes the most sense in terms of what you need to do, what that bottleneck in your info business is, whether it's your sales team, your marketing department, you name it. But again, your sales team will solve most problems. Now, the next part to this is oftentimes people believe that because I'm doing 100K a month through organic, if all I do is launch ads, I'll add another 100K a month. That is not true. That is about the farthest thing from the truth. With organic content, one of the things you have to realize is that people are there largely for you. They follow you. So what happens when people end up buying is they are buying because they want to get in proximity to you. They want to be around you. Even if they don't give a shit about your offer, sometimes people just buy to be a part of it. There was a really big creator that we worked with about a year ago, maybe a little more, 2.7 million. I don't know what they're at now. Fit in the fitness space, like the GOAT of the fitness space. And he basically sold people into a cult, taught them good information. People are getting results. Don't get me wrong, but everybody was buying and joining because there was a cult. We had a 7 to 9x ROAS in the account, something like that, something fucking insane, doing multiple hundreds of thousands a month. And the only reason that was the case is because people wanted to be around them. That is something you need to take into account. That is also why you need savage salespeople, because as soon as you go to cold paid ads, these people don't know who you are. And I used an analogy in a video of mine the other day where I want you to think about going to a concert with an artist that you enjoy. If you've listened to this artist, you love their music, all you're going to do is buy the ticket and show up. You need nothing else. You need one email, the ticket, that's it. You may even recruit your friends to go to the concert with you. That's great and all, but that's what organic content is. Now let's look at paid ads. Paid ads is when your friend says, hey, I'm going to this concert. Do you want to come? And you're sitting there and you're going, I don't know who this is. I don't even know if I like this type of music. I don't know if it's worth my time. I got to drive an hour to get to the venue. Is this worth it? And your friend sits there and goes, dude, I'll drive. It's great. Listen to the music here. Check this out. Oh, they got an opener that you like. And your friend now has to sell you all of these components to get you to show up to the concert. It is the same thing with paid ads versus organic. Organic is the artist that you like where you go, yeah, I'm in. Paid ads is when your buddy drags you to some venue that you've never heard the genre, you don't know who the artist is, you don't know if you're even going to like them, you're debating on even going, it seems kind of expensive to you. Paid ads is handling all of that prior to them actually showing up to the concert or buying or booking. And that's the analogy that makes the most sense here. And so if you understand this concept when you go to run paid ads or scale your information product into paid ads, that's how you win. And if you're curious what this looks like for your business, there's gonna be a link below. You can book a call to speak to myself or the member of the team. We'll run you through exactly what you need to understand when it comes to scaling into paid ads with an information product. And this is why I go back to the sales team thing, because again, when you first launch paid ads, there's another video on the channel you can check out about testing funnels and what paid ads actually looks like. But when you first run paid ads, there's a high likelihood your booking rate on a webinar is gonna be like 5%, or your click-through rate is gonna be like 2%, or all the metrics are gonna be fucked up when you first launch. Having a really good sales team when you launch paid ads for the first time will save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they're able to plug those gaps in the funnel and tell you what you need to fix based off the call reviews. And so those are the three big lessons of this video and from the past 1.5 to 2 years of selling info is make sure you or the offer owner that you're working with is actually prioritizing making content, filming, and the information business as a whole. Make sure your sales team is dialed in. Don't hire, pardon my French, shitbag 18-year-olds. And lastly, just because you're successful with organic doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful with paid ads. And you understand just these three things when going to tack on that next 100K a month, you will find success when scaling. So if you like content like this, drop a comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see next. We had a couple of those come in last week. So big thank you from you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.